The sea around Skellig Michael never rests. Waves slam the cliffs like a heartbeat, and mist rises from the rocks like breath from some sleeping giant. 8 miles off the coast of Kerry, this jagged island looks less like a piece of earth and more like a fragment of another world. More than 1,000 years ago, monks climbed 600 stone steps to live here, chasing silence, prayer, and the edge of heaven. Today, visitors come for the same reason, though they may not know it, whether you're drawn by faith, history, or a galaxy far, far away. Skellig has a way of making you listen to what the sea remembers, and that's where today's story begins, between exile and return, faith and freedom, stone and surf, because sometimes we're all just trying to find a way back to the ocean. With music from Niamh Dunne, Loescher, and Jocelyn Pettit and Gira. This is Quest and Chorus number 309.
The moon was bright golden brick, and everything was still. It was for the foe in ambush. We lay beside the hill. Like a lion's bold, we waited to dash upon our prey. As we rode with Sarsfield at our head, at the dawning of the day. From Dublin came the foemen, with guns and warlike store, to take the town of Limerick. They wanted 10 times over, but little was their dreaming that we would be their doom. As we rode with Sarsfield at our head, right down from Wildsley Blue. At the lonely hour of midnight, each man leaped on his steed, and through the town of Cullen we dashed with lightning speed. O'er the hills we thundered to Ballyneety's walls, where lay the foe securely, with guns and arms and all. They asked us for our password, and Sarsfield was the man. Oh, here I am, our general cried us down, and then we ran. Oh, had we bridged the firmament, the moon and stars gave light, and for the battle of the Boyne we had revenge that night. Out laughed our general as fast we rode away, and many's the health we drank to him in Limerick town next day. Here's a health to old Sarsfield, who led us one and all. We blew up the Royal Artillery at Ballyneety's wall.
Welcome to Quest and Chorus, where every wave might carry a myth, and every exile still dreams of home. I'm your bard, Mark Gunn, and host of the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast, and typically host of this show as Folk Songs and Stories, but today we call it Quest and Chorus. Today's theme may seem like exile, or perhaps it's where you truly belong. Quest and Chorus is a 6-part podcast series. I fuse my love of Celtic and folk music, science fiction and fantasy, and travel into a podcast with a quest. In each episode, you will get a clue to unlock a secret reward, and at the end of the season, you will combine all those clues to unlock an even bigger, amazing reward. You can find a link to Unlock your secret reward in the show notes for this episode at pubsong.com for show number 309. If you're new to the show, please follow us while you're there. And you can send an email to follow@keltfather.net if you want to find more details. Upcoming shows. November is a big month for me. I have the Georgia Renaissance Festival. I'll be doing it 3 times, November 1st, the 22nd, and December 6th. This is for their fall festival. I hope you will come join me. I'm going to be singing some songs, Renaissance Festival style, out at the festival, and I can't wait to get back there. I had a great time last year. November 8th is Irish Fest Atlanta in Roswell, Georgia, and I'm doing that show with Inara, and she and I are working on a new set for this big show, so I hope you can join us there. And then the 14th to 16th, I'm doing Conjuration, and Inara will join me for at least a couple shows while we're there. And finally, December 7th is Nerdy Wonderland. Carmen and I both picked all of the vendors who are going to be at Nerdy Wonderland, and now we are starting to do the official planning. So I hope you can join us. That's December 7th at the Lost Druid in Avondale Estates, Georgia. All right, let's play some music from another roving person here, or at least a roving song by Wolf Loescher. This is Roving Journeyman from his album Child of Alba.
I am a roving journeyman, I roam from tune to tune. Whenever I get the job of work, I'm willing to taste a tune. Me kit's all on me shoulder and me grafting tool in hand. Around the country I will go, a roving journeyman. When I come to Glasgow tune, the lassies jump for joy. Says one and tay another, well, here comes a roving boy. Some treat me tay a bottle and the others tay a dram. The toast goes round the table, health and tay the journeyman. I hadn't been in Glasgow tune a week but barely 3 before the provost daughter went and fell in love with me. She asked me for to dine with her and took me by the hand. She proudly told her mother that she loved the journeyman. "Och, away you go, you silly maid, I'll hear you speak no more. How can you love a journeyman you never seen before? A mother's sweet, I do entreat, I love him all I can. And around the country I will go to see my journeyman. We are lintonati, turalati, lintonati, turalintonati, turalintonati, eh. Pots and pans and helping hands will see you through the day. Lintonati, turaluraluralati, eh. Gie a penny tay the journeyman to help him on his way. You'll need no mare to trudge your foot, you'll hay a horse and pair. My wealth with thee in poverty contented I will share. So overflow the flowing bowl and drain it if you can. Toast the provost daughter and the roving journeyman. I am a roving journeyman, I roam from tune to tune. Whenever I get the job of work, I'm willing to taste a tune. Me kit's all on me shoulder and me grafting tool in hand. Around the country I will go, a roving journeyman.
Please leave a comment on the podcast show notes if you have any, pubsong.com, or you can do it, of course, over on Patreon, or send an email to follow@keltfather.net. I'll send you a free gift when you send an email there, and you can learn about how to follow the podcast. And if you're looking for Celtic Halloween music, which is coming up soon, Halloween, I have a large selection of such music. Most prominently is my album Happy Songs of Death, which perfectly fits the bill. I also did a series of concerts, online concerts inspired by that theme for several years. You can find a link in the show notes for details. A big thanks to my gun runners on Patreon. If you enjoy this podcast or you love listening to my music, please follow my Celt Father Patreon page. This is the best way to keep in touch with me. You can sign up for free and get updates on what's new, and you can get an ad-free edition of the podcast before regular listeners. But you get so much more when you become a patron of the arts. Patreon is one of the ways modern musicians and podcasters make a living. Only $5 a month. You'll get exclusive unreleased songs, podcasts, video concerts, bootleg concerts, and even a few free albums. Again, send an email to follow@keltfather.net for more details. I'm also using Patreon as a place for me to not only write songs, but to share them with you before they're actually ready. I recorded a song called I See You, wrote a song called I See You back in September with Mikey, and I rewrote the lyrics. I'm already starting to put it together, and you helped me actually fund that song. Not only just the songwriting, but I'm starting to use some of the money also to hire musicians to create an official release of this song. Big thanks to everyone who is supporting my music over on Patreon. Jocelyn Pettit and Gira are up next. This is Going Home, appropriate also because of the song we're talking about for Skellig Michael. But this is from their album, Here to Stay. This is Jocelyn Pettit and Gira.
I wish I knew how, 'cause I can't feel the same sensation. She's called away to start a brand new day somewhere across the sea. She spreads her wings and flies. She flies away, leaves gravity behind. Her instincts are her guide. She knows not where she's going, only where the winds are blowing. But she knows just one thing, she's going home. I used to feel as if this were my place, a sense of security, a home I could embrace. But as the world turns and I keep learning and on growing, I can't shake this feeling that the winds of change are blowing. I'm called away, start a brand new day somewhere across the sea, across the waters. I'm called away, start a brand new day somewhere across the sea. Spread my wings and fly. I'll fly away, leave gravity behind. My instincts are my guide. I know where I'm going, only where the winds are blowing. But I know just one thing, I'm going home. I'll fly away. I'll fly. My instincts are my guide. I know where I'm going, only where the winds are blowing. But I know just one thing, I'm going home.
Today's show is brought to you by my Celtic Invasion vacations. Every year I take a small group of people on a relaxing adventure to one of the Celtic nations. We don't see everything. Instead, we stay in one area. We get to know the region through its culture, history, and legends. You can join me with an auditory and visual adventure through podcasts, blogs, videos, and photos. And in 2026, you can join me on a Celtic Invasion of Galicia in Spain. Sign up to Celtic Invasion Vacations mailing list at CelticInvasion.com. Let's begin the quest and chorus of Skellig Michael. 8 miles off the coast of County Kerry is the island of Skellig Michael. It is a jagged, twin-peaked island. Its name comes from the Irish, Skellig Michael, which means, and I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, it is a M-H-I-C-H-I-L. Michael. It means Michael's Rock. It was dedicated to the Archangel Michael. The island's history began in the 6th century. Monks sought isolation and closeness to God, so they settled there because the early Irish monastic tradition valued hardship, solitude, and spiritual testing. The monks carved out a small community on narrow terraces more than 600 steps above sea level. The monastic settlement they built still survives. They built a cluster of beehive stone huts, stone crosses, and terraces connected by narrow paths. Everything was dry stone construction. That means they were fitted together without mortar. They were built so well that they have lasted over a millennium. The monks grew small gardens, caught seabirds and fish, and collected rainwater in cisterns. They survived off of what the island would allow. Skellig Michael was a center of devotion to Saint Michael of Archangel. Sometime after the 8th century, the island was also a pilgrimage site for centuries. Climbing its steps was seen as a form of penance and spiritual renewal. By the 13th century, life on Skellig Michael had become too difficult. Storms, isolation, and changing church patterns led the monks to relocate to the mainland near Ballyneety, but the island remained a place of pilgrimage well into the modern era. Skellig Michael is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is recognized for its exceptional preservation of early Christian monastic life and its haunting natural beauty. It's also become familiar to a new generation as Ahch-To, the oceanic world where Luke Skywalker lived in exile in Star Wars: The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Even now, Skellig Michael stands as a symbol of endurance, of faith carved into stone, of solitude turned to sanctuary, and the fragile bridge between human devotion and the raw power of nature. One of the more famous legends involves the Tuatha De Danann and the Milesian invasion of Ireland. It's recounted in the Lebor Gabhala Erin, the Book of Invasions. According to this myth, as the Milesians sailed toward Ireland around 1400 BC in the mythic narrative, a storm was caused by the Tuatha De Danann. They are one of the fairy-like supernatural race in Irish mythology. Skellig's cliffs are sometimes mentioned as one of the most treacherous places where the ships were driven ashore. One version says a son of Mil Espain, the mythic ancestor of the Gaels, was traveling from the Iberian Peninsula. He drowned and was buried on Skellig. It is funny considering the rough waters of the Tuatha De Danann caused and whatnot, and that's because we left Ballinskellig early in the morning to sail to Skellig Michael. The waters were indeed rough when we were sailing over. I don't know if it's how normal that is, but they were a bit rough. I was definitely, by the time I got to the island, I was feeling very nauseous and hadn't quite, lost it all. But I was definitely not feeling good. It felt good to get on land. And then the adventure really began. Once you land, you get some tour information about Skellig Michael. And in particular, they're saying, don't go out and touch the puffins. Don't touch any, don't do any damage and whatnot to the island in any way. That was probably my least favorite thing about the whole island. I just wanted to get up into it, and I was good. But the thing that I did not expect is how much I would love puffins. I actually wrote a blog about my trip to Skellig Michael back in 2019, and it was mostly about the puffins because the puffins were everywhere, and I was just overwhelmed by climbing up and seeing all those amazing birds nesting. And obviously there were some absolutely stunning views as well, especially once you get up at top. Not because there you have the beehive huts and all the remains of the monastery, but you got these incredible views of the ocean. You can just imagine how it might have been years, hundreds of years ago as well. The wind blowing, the climbing, hiking up the mountainside. I can see why they use that as the escape home of Luke Skywalker, because it is very remote, just in the middle of nowhere. And it's gorgeous, very cinematic. But Luke, of course, left there by choice. We all get a choice to step away. And the Star Wars part was a lot of fun, but the puffins are what I'll never forget. Tiny adventurers who seem completely at home in the storm. I think that's one of the things that I relate to with my song Selkie's Life, which is a song about finding where you belong. The Selkie in Irish Celtic mythology will shed their seal skin to walk upon land with humans, but they need that seal skin and want that seal skin to return home, to go back into the ocean. They make a choice, just like Luke did, to step away, but they also understand where they truly belong. In their sealskin, in the ocean, swimming in the waves, lounging on the rocks. I loved having the choice to go to Skellig Michael, even with the upset stomach. I loved that I got to climb that mountain and see those incredible sights. The island did indeed feel like a contemplative refuge, an escape from the world. And while I did enjoy the escape, I loved coming back home to where I belong. Isn't that one of the great things about travel? It's not just that we can see the world. It's that we can come home and remember all the amazing things we've seen and learn from all the amazing things that we've seen so that we can perhaps make another adventure to the ocean, to Skellig Michael, to the far reaches of the universe. This is Selkie's Life. It's from my CD, Come Adventure With Me. We'll swim away from the strand. I got to live among men. I swooned the ladies well. I gained many new friends. None of them compare to the swells. Going down to the ocean. I miss the ocean. I tried to ride the waves. I thought that I could thrive. I struggled to go with the current. Every twist and turn felt contrived. Going down to the ocean. Back in the ocean. Got cold after a few days on the island. Good friends and lovers aren't warm enough for me. I wanna be free again, not hiding. The ocean is the place I need to be. Beneath the waves, I'm gone with the setting sun. I'm going back to the depths where a Selkie's life was begun. Going down to the ocean. I'm back in the ocean. I hope you enjoyed that episode, and if you did, make sure you send a message to follow@kiltfather.net. Let me know what you thought of it. And if you'd like to find out more about the puffins of Skellig Michael, you can see my pictures of the puffins that I took back in 2019. And there's also an episode that talks a little bit more about this song, Selkie's Life. It is right here on the podcast feed, show number 234. Today's clue is not the seal, but the man who faced his fear, then tried to hide from it on a lonely island far from civilization, nestled in like the puffins, but unable to escape. Thank you for returning to the sea with me. Skellig Michael is not the end of the story, but it's where stories are kept safe. Next time, we wander the great alignments of Karnak, stones older than myth, standing like trees in time. Until then, if the sea calls you, don't be afraid to answer. Sláinte. Thanks for listening to Quest and Chorus. This episode was edited by Mitchell Peterson. You can follow and listen to the show on my Patreon or wherever you find podcasts. Sign up to my mailing list to learn more about songs featured in this podcast and discover where I'm performing. Remember, reduce, reuse, recycle, and think about how you can make a positive impact on your environment. Join the quest and sing along at pubsong.com.